Alright, so here we are in Studio One, and we're going to do just a little CPU comparison test. So I have Studio One open here with a project of mine, just some stems here. They're unmixed, so don't mind that. But I have the performance meter here, and you can see we're running pretty good right now, 5-6%, teetering. This is a large project too. This is I think somewhere around 90 some odd files. Most of them were rendered off as stereo tracks, so there you have some project information here. Now, I'm running a Windows 10 PC, Ryzen 7, 32 gigs of RAM. And I'm running an RME interface over USB. We'll see. I'll just play the project here, and so we're going to keep an eye on our performance meter here. At a standstill, we're at 6%, and we're just gonna. Awesome. All right, so there's not really too much difference. You might get a percent or so here and there, but it's negligible, really. Now, I don't have any processing on this. I just very, very quick and dirty just threw this in and dropped the volume on some of the things so you can kind of get a sense of what's playing. So that being said, let's try something. I'm going to select all the channels, and I'm going to insert a channel strip plugin. This is my favorite, the BX Console SSL 4000E. Amazing channel strip. I use it all the time in my productions and mixing. Okay, so you could see now with this channel strip plugin, plugins in general obviously add CPU usage. And this is nothing indifferent than what we're seeing here. We're seeing a 21% usage. So it definitely spiked up more than our 6 to 7%, occasionally an 8%. Let's play the mix back and see. Let's add just another plugin here. We're going to add this freebie here from Klanghelm. I love this plugin. And this is a pretty lightweight plugin, but you could see in Studio One, it definitely shoots up to almost 40%. It's 38% approximately. Up 38, 39. Kind of balancing there between the two. That is kind of a very broad, maybe in some ways aggressive. Some mixes you wouldn't maybe apply the same kind of processing on everything, but that's not the point of this little test here. This is just to see how well Studio One handles larger projects. Let's switch on over to Cubase, and we'll see how Cubase handles these larger projects. All right, so here we are in Cubase now, and I'm going to open up the audio performance meter here. One thing I noticed, actually specifically, kind of, I guess it's a feature thing, Studio One has a little bit better readouts, I think, because it actually gives you a percentage and an actual number. Unfortunately, here in Steinberg Cubase, we just don't have that, but we have enough information to know what our project is doing, how our system's handling things, so good enough. But I have the same project or multi-tracks loaded up. You can see 95 channels here. I'll just play through here. There's no plugins or any kind of processing going on this. We'll add that here in just a second, but right now we're running steady, probably I'd say give or take the same as Studio One. Nothing in my system has changed. Still running the same 256 buffer rate. Of course, if we had any dropouts and performance spikes, we could always up our buffer setting, but in this case I just wanted to test at 256 here. Running good thus far. You can see it spikes there when it's loading. small spikes, nothing to really be worried about. It's nothing that's crushing your system there. Performance-wise, we're running about the same as Studio One. Let's go ahead and add a SSL plugin, just like we did before. Okay, so now we have our Brainworks SSL 4000E channel strip plugin, just like we did in Studio One, loaded up on every single channel. Honestly, we're still running at a pretty moderate level. There's definitely a significant increase. Again, just like in Studio One, that is to totally be expected, but it's not crushing our system, which is the most important thing in my opinion. Let's see what happens on playback here. Okay, so let's add another plugin. We're going to go with our IVG12 here. See, Cubase is starting to kind of clears its cache. It's good. It takes a minute in the cache to kind of read the audio while you have plugins. I think from this test alone, Studio One handled that better, actually kind of surprisingly. I expected Cubase to handle this better. Cubase handles it fine, but there is a little bit of a caching, maybe an overload. It's having a hard time picking up all the channels that need to be playing at the same time. Again, not a big issue. You just play it again and you're good to go. So I think it's kind of a non-issue myself, but so to me, I mean, it's workable, but there is a little bit more of a disk cache thing kind of going on there. I think Studio One kind of improves on that a little bit more, if I'm being totally honest. I'd say they're pretty much equal in terms of how they process larger projects. And this is a benefit on Studio One's area, because in Studio One, it used to be where, I mean, anything plus 40 channels, even though plugins, the thing would just cripple. And now you could run, as you very well saw, 95 channels, pretty stable, pretty solid. If you add plugins, obviously it's going to add more, that's to be expected, but it runs stable, and that's really cool. Nonetheless, just to see how well both of these DAWs would handle the same project with the same relative processing. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to some of you guys and gals out there. It kind of surprised me. So yeah, both are great. I love them both. Studio One has an edge in some cases. That's kind of cool. And take this information worth whatever you will. I'm sure people will, yell at me for some other reason and say, oh, hey, you didn't do it right or whatever. But yeah, I did the best I could in, with this. So let me know what you guys think. Does Cubase run better for you? Does Studio One run better for you? I love them both. They both run pretty good for me. Kind of interesting little test. It was kind of enlightening. We'll catch you on the next one.